Well, you guys, there's been a ton of talk about the Marvel Spider-Man 2 DLC that may or may not be happening due to a brand new tweet that Insomniac dropped yesterday. We're going to talk all about it. Before I jump into today's video, I just want to say, hey, I'm CBK. If you're brand new to my channel and enjoy Marvel Games content, definitely hit that subscribe button to keep up with all of my future videos. So yesterday, Insomniac Games decided to reply to a tweet in which somebody asked them about an update on DLC for Marvel Spider-Man 2, and they said, we don't have anything new to announce. Now, of course, a lot of people took this as there's no DLC. There's no DLC to announce. A lot of people have been tweeting out that DLC for Marvel Spider-Man 2 has been canceled, which is just wild to even say because Insomniac Games never actually confirmed that they were making DLC, so if they never made DLC, what is there to cancel? I know there's been a ton of rumors and speculation out there, but as far as we know, nothing has been confirmed from Insomniac's side, so there's nothing for them to actually cancel, and that's why I don't really see any point in all of the outrage for there not being DLC. It's not like they promised anything to us and then didn't deliver. It's also important to keep in mind that Insomniac Games did suffer that horrific ransomware attack back in December, so maybe there were plans for DLC and it had to be delayed. But again, that's just all speculation. I just think it's important for us to all keep in mind that this is nothing that Insomniac Games did actually promise to us. Now, I think it's fair for us to speculate. I've done it a ton on this channel, and I still hold out hope that there is going to be DLC for Marvel Spider-Man 2, mostly because there were a ton of loose threads in the base game for Marvel Spider-Man 2 that were set up in a lot of side missions, I believe, and I think that those threads could easily be tied up in a DLC because some of them are kind of smaller storylines that I feel like don't necessarily need to be explored in the third Marvel Spider-Man game 5 years from now. I feel like a DLC would better serve those smaller storylines that they could tie up. But a lot of people are taking this tweet as the end, like we've lost, we're not getting that DLC, and I think it's fair to kind of assume that. I don't blame anyone for being disappointed by that tweet, but I don't necessarily completely read it as there's not going to be any DLC. I just kind of read it as at this time there's nothing new for us to announce, like nothing's ready to announce. I feel like if there was not going to be any DLC, I feel like Insomniac Games would be pretty transparent with us on that and just tell us at this time there are no plans for Marvel Spider-Man 2 DLC. Perhaps instead they would say, right now our focus is on Marvel's Wolverine and we're hard at work on Marvel's Wolverine. But because they are not addressing it in that manner, I'm still going to hold out a little sliver of hope for that DLC. Now, I do have to say my hope is small for it. I'm not completely letting it go, but right now my hype is all focused on Marvel's Wolverine because that is the project that we know is confirmed and is being worked on. That one we know for certain is being worked on right now, and that's worth getting hyped about. But if there is no DLC, it's very possible that they could be working on a Venom game as well. I've mentioned it time and time again before on my channel that it's very possible we could get a smaller scaled Venom game in between the releases of Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Marvel Spider-Man 3, kind of like how they did with Spider-Man Miles Morales. It could be very possible that they're working on that. We do know that Carnage was set up in Marvel Spider-Man 2, and I don't see Carnage being a major player in Marvel Spider-Man 3. I think that game should really be focused on Green Goblin and of course the return of Doc Ock, so I don't think throwing Carnage into that game makes a lot of sense, but it definitely makes sense for a Venom game, so that's also a possibility. Maybe they're not working on DLC, but they're working on a Venom game, which I'd have to say I'd prefer that over DLC. But I just want to say for me, all hope is not lost for this DLC. I don't think that this is any way confirmation that they're not working on a DLC. I can see why people read it that way, but for me, I feel like Insomniac Games would be pretty transparent with us about a DLC and say that they have no plans to work on one as of right now. I think they would definitely be like, hey, we're just working on Marvel's Wolverine, and that's what we're focused on. That way it would just kind of put to rest all of those rumors and speculating, and it would probably deter people from constantly asking them for an update on DLC in their replies, which I'm sure is pretty annoying to have to see constantly. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on the latest news revolving around the DLC stuff. I see a lot of people talking about it, people asking for my opinion on it, And that's just kind of where I stand at this point in time. Evan Flarka actually dropped a really cool video talking about DLC recently. I think you should definitely check it out. He shares a lot of the same opinions that I do as well, so definitely go check out his channel if you want another DLC video. But that's going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will catch you guys on my next Marvel Games related video.